Hi everyone, Hado here. Lovely sunny Saturday. Social care management team at Crosscare, social care workers board member at Carew, member of the Mother and Babies Home, Consultative Forum, and other institutions. How are you all doing this weekend? First of all, just congratulations to all social care students who were awarded their degrees this week. A hard 3 or 4 years over, and now you're out into the big bad world, and it's great to have you all coming to work with us. So the very best of luck when you're looking for your first jobs, and those who are already doing jobs, well done on your degrees. I was talking to or got a message from a social care worker there during the week in relation to TCI, and I suppose it's not just TCI, but any other methodology of de-escalation and restraint. And they brought up a very interesting point and asked me would I talk to it. So many years ago, when I worked in detention services, um, back in 2001, TCI was the method of de-escalation and restraint, and in detention services, the restraint component was really focused on. And restraint for young people who are already traumatized is a very difficult proposition. And over the years, people have started to question the necessity for physical restraints on young people who are already traumatized or who may be living with a cognitive disability, etc., etc. And I certainly know down the years there, when I reflect on my career, there were times when I was on teams and myself when I've used restraint that when I look back on it now, they were certainly could have been other methods applied. And when we could have shut doors, locked rooms, left young people to just vent and in a safe way instead of restraining them. But one of the areas that is not looked at a lot, and I think is the area that concerns me the most, is the cause and effect of restraints on the team. The individuals that are applying the restraints, if restraints are still being used in your services. So if you're in a service whereby a restraint is a methodology that's still being used, physical restraint, ask yourself what supports are in place for you afterwards. What do the management teams do, the team leaders, the PICs, the owners? What do they do to make sure that you're okay after restraint? You know, when I was very young, it was very common practice for parents to be very physical with their children. And there are a lot of people who are out there my age are saying, no, that had no cause and effect on us. But for some people it did. And if you're one of those people who grew up in a household where there was physical violence against you, and then you're then in a restraint, perpetrating physical violence against the child, for the want of a better word, how is that then going to affect you, and how are you going to feel about that? If you're a mother, a father, an aunt, or an uncle, and have really loving and caring relationships with the children in your life, and that never happens to them, they never have witnessed that and never seen it, how are you going to feel then if you have to witness or take part in a physical restraint on a child? How does that affect and traumatize you? And if it does have an effect, if you can't go home and just brush it aside and leave it, which a lot of people would like us to do, if you can't go home and do that, what are the supports in place then to help you deal with the trauma that you've been through? Do you have in-house counselling services? Do you have access to an EAP? Do you have anyone trained in your organisation in critical incident stress management? What is there for you to be able to unload, or do you have to wait until you have a supervision and hope then that the person who's supervising you understands the complexities of what you've gone through? Physical restraint of children is not normal. It's very difficult, and in 99.9% of the times it's not needed. It's worth us thinking about it all the time. All the time. Is there something else we can do to keep the children, the young people safe, but to keep ourselves safe as well? See you next week.